man, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Guap, and I'm back with another Real Talk Wednesday for y'all boys, man. Today's video gonna be talking about, staying true to yourself and never changing and just not, changing for anybody. So, with that being said, let's get into this motherfucking man. I'm sorry if I sound like super tired, bro. I'm doing this video like straight off the wake up, bro, because I didn't even have time to do it after practice. Or really, yesterday I was doing shit. So, and I hurt my hand, so I'm just throwing that out there. So I'm probably not gonna be on the game for real, or posting like any real gaming content. So we could probably switch it up. I'm just letting y'all know. So I'm probably gonna be throwing some random gameplay up. So it's probably gonna be like a lot of story times and just me talking until like my hand feel better. It'll probably be like a week or so. It was just at practice. Shit happened. Can't really do much about it. But with all that being said, man, like I said, let's get into this video. We're gonna talk about just not changing for anybody and just, the first part is, like I said, we're gonna talk about not changing for anybody. And it's important not to change for anybody just because, you know your true self, you know what you wanna do, There should be no reason you have to cover that up, If you're scared of judgment from whoever it may be, friends, family, just in general. You should never change how you feel, what you want to do. Always just be yourself because it's not going to matter. You should always trust that feeling or that thought you come up with because it's your brain, That's something you created. It's your idea. Your brain is a very strong thing. It's a very strong source. So trust your intuition. Never change how you feel for anything or any, like I said before, never change how you feel about anything, about how you feel about something, because that's you telling yourself, hey, this idea is great, you should do it. But most people don't act on their ideas just because they're afraid how that people are going to receive it, so they hide all the things that they really like doing to change and to fit into what other people like. And there's a point in my life where I did that, and I feel like everyone does it at a point in their life where it's just they want to be accepted, so they start doing things like drinking, smoking, this shit they wouldn't really do. And it's because they want that acceptance. They feel like they haven't really had that friend group or people, that accepted them for them, so they just changed to, fit in. For me, it was kind of like, I wasn't smoking to fit in, but at the time I felt like I was doing it because, when you're in high school and you're around all your friends, you're a product of your environment, as my family would say. So it's just like, if you're hanging out with smokers and you smoke all day, that's what you're gonna turn into, you feel me? And I wasn't really seeing it for what it was at the time, because when you're at that age, it's just like, you're just getting high, you just hanging out with your friends. And so once I realized that, after high school and like all these things slowed down, and started to realize that I didn't need to do a lot of this shit that I was doing in high school to fit in and make friends. I could just be myself, because not a lot of people cared about what I'm not gonna say my government name for y'all, because I don't know what y'all niggas might do with that. But if you know, let's but let's say, fuck, I got tripped out, but young Guap compared to older, like a few years now, I could say I got a lot more friends and a lot more people who truly care about me for me than what I have. Cause y'all know, I keep it P with all my friends. I don't sugarcoat nothing with them. I sound like a fucking 40-year-old smoker right there. Goddamn. But y'all know I keep it P with everything I do, and that's just like, once I realized I can't sugar, like, with me, I was always giving my friends like the easy way out and stuff like that too. It wasn't just me like doing other things. It was me being a people pleaser at that too. That's the second thing we're gonna talk about right here. It's really just being a people pleaser. And what I mean by that is just, not saying no when it comes to like sharing your money. And I know that shouldn't sound like a selfish thing, but sometimes you have to say no. It's just you got to learn when to say no to people. It's okay to give money at certain times, but you got to know when to stop. And that's just one example. And another thing I could say is, fishing for compliments, always asking for certain things and just, trying to find ways to be recognized by people and giving that attention. That's really what it is. You should never really want that attention because I know it sounds crazy to say, but we have to learn to love ourselves and not be so much of a people pleaser. And I talked about loving ourselves in the first video a little bit, but I could go into that a little more if y'all want me to, of course. But when you finally stop being that people pleaser and you learn how to say no, and you learn to start like just saying no to certain things in general to people, like your life starts changing. You realize that it's not as bad, and the people who react a certain way probably weren't meant to be in your life when you stop doing certain things or stop giving them that attention, And it's even with females, because like some guys are people pleasers. The females, they'll give them hella compliments, do all above and beyond for a girl that's not even theirs yet. Because while they trying to please her and keep her attention, but like I said, you can't do that to everybody because they're gonna take advantage of you. You don't know what you're gonna get in today's world, so you gotta stay grounded. You gotta stay solid with yourself and just really love yourself. It's okay to once in a while give compliments, but you never should really want to just go out there and just make it seem like you just handing out happiness to everybody. You gotta have that for yourself too. So make sure you give yourself a lot of, I know it's gonna sound weird to say, but make sure you give yourself a lot of self-love and just making sure your mental's okay before you go out doing a lot of these things, man. And yeah, I cannot speak right now. And like I said, the main thing to take away from this video is just stay true to yourself. Love what you love to do. Don't let anyone judge you or try to mispersuade you on anything that you love. It's your passion. Like I say, let your passion reduce you to ashes. Anything you do, if you're passionate about it. And, love yourself. Never put anyone before you. You're the most important person in your life, man. Because you matter the most. Because it's your life. No one else's. Just remember that. And I'm going to leave y'all with this gameplay, man. Because, I had to get that off my chest. I just want to say I love y'all boys, man. Keep growing as a human. And just remember, don't take everything personal. Money not everything. Material items ain't everything, man. You got to go out and find your true purpose and true peace and happiness from other things. And everything else will start coming to y'all, man. All I'm going to say is we taking over next year, man. We hitting 100K by next year. I know it's crazy to say. I don't care what y'all say, man. We going to do it. If you rocking with me, you rocking with me. I'll put it like that. You feel me? And with that being said, man, I know I said a lot this video. I love y'all. Stay true to yourselves. Don't change. And that's the main message, man. I'm out. Peace.